Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. Oh my goodness. Welcome to Law-splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And today we have the continuation. We're pushing towards the end of this. I'm actually getting very, very tired of this interview, but I want to finish it up and then move on. But we are pushing towards the end of this Ronversations interview. So we are on part 6. Part 6. 6. Or whatever. And we will be talking about that tonight. We will be... What is going on with my layout? Oh my goodness. Yeah. There we go. The thing got all messed up the other day. We will be going through part 6 here. We're going to try and wrap up this interview, hopefully today, and then put it in the dustbin of history. Now, I have to tell you guys something. If you saw my announcement tweet, you'll know that I said that Ron watches these, and it makes me very sad. Now, I didn't know Ron watches these, but now I definitely know, because Ron commented on the stream from yesterday. Ron is very, 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 very unhappy, apparently. Well, I mean, obviously, Ron commented on the stream. So if you notice on the last live stream, there are not timestamps. Agrilith is a dude who watches the show and does an amazing job every week, or like every show, without asking or anything. He does the time stamping. He just does it. It's super nice of him to do that. And normally what I do is I go in and I pin those timestamps when I see them, because I know that people like them very much. But I'm going to do a new thing if Agrilith is up for it. And I'm going to ask him to send me the timestamps in Discord or something, because YouTube has implemented a new feature where if I take and put the timestamps in the description, YouTube software will grab those timestamps and actually implement breaks on the timeline with the little labels, I think. And so it's really cool thing that you can do. And then that way, you know, you can actually just kind of hover over the timeline and find the spots. And that way, you know, I can put them in the description. And of course, I will properly credit Agrilith for doing that and putting in the work for that. And see if I can, you know, I don't know if there's anything that I can promote for him or anything. But I'm very happy that he's been doing that, and I know people really like it. But I also want to make sure that if someone puts like a stupid comment in, you know, I want to pin. I always like pinning negative comments. I've always just liked that sort of thing. So it's something I've done a lot from the beginning. But lately with the live streams, of course, I've been pinning the live stream comments a lot. So I do want to make sure I pin negative comments so that people can enjoy, you know, someone thinking I'm a complete screw up and a worthless pile of garbage or whatever. That's fine. I like doing it. So we're going to do, I'm going to toy with that sometime soon. So I don't know if Agrilith is watching yet, but I will make sure and reach out to him to do that. I have another, we're going to go over what Ron said. That'll be before we jump to the interview. I'll pull up the comment. It doesn't make any sense. It's not like a sensible either. It's not sensical or sensible comment. It's flatly, well, it seems a little disjointed. I don't know if he was being too Irish to, you know, Ron likes to blame his Irish heritage for drinking or violence or something, which seems a little bit stereotypical. But other people's heritages can't contribute to their cultural reactions to things. But I don't know if he was too Irish and had his 1.5 like mimosas or whatever he gets drunk off of. I'm sorry. The reference there is last night when we were covering the interview. Ron holds up his whiskey glass. He's like, or whatever he was drinking. He's like, 1 or 2 of these, and it's like, buddy, 1 or 2 drinks, and you are unable to control this. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. So anyway, sorry. I try not to joke. About people with disabilities, but Ron makes it so easy. So anyway, we will be discussing his comments or looking at his comments, and I try and figure out what he's talking about. But I have a couple of other things that I want to hit on first. I want to remind people of this and clarify this. Whoops. Hold on one second. I want to remind people of this and clarify this. We talked about it last night, but I got a little bit more information about this. So this is, Vic is going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, July 18th. That's Saturday. If you're in the area, you can go visit him at the Hyatt Regency. Now, it's not, when I first read it, I was mistakenly under the impression that this was at Collective Con, but it's not at Collective Con. It's like a mile or so away from Collective Con, and his thing starts at 5 p.m. Collective Con ends at 6 p.m. So his thing is not really competing with the show or anything like that. It's a separate event. And it's also free. It's a free event. You do not need a Collective Con badge. You don't need to sign up to pay for a ticket to go see Vic. You just show up at the Hyatt Regency in Jacksonville, Florida. Here's the address, 225 East Coastline Drive. You go there and you can go see Vic. He'll be there. Say hi. I'm sure he'll have stuff to sign if you want to support him in that way. But if you want to just go see him, you can do that too. It's not at the convention, so it's pretty close by. People who are going to that convention, you can pop over to see Vic right afterwards. That would be fine as well. But I just wanted to let people know that that's available. It is really short notice. So, if you're in the area and you want to see him, here's an opportunity to go do so. And I talked about it yesterday, but I wanted to clarify that sort of aspect of it and let people know, the details. Because apparently there's been some confusion. People think you have to have a ticket or something. You do not. You just show up at the hotel. It's a conference room or whatever there, and you can go meet him. So there is that. And I bet if you do go meet him and say hi, he will be very, very appreciative. And his pants may try to, never mind. I was going to make a gay pants joke and then it was going to come out wrong. So we're not going to do it. But yeah, go see him. Let's see. What else is going on? The knives. Okay. I told you guys I wanted to have the raffle up like on Tuesday. I said I'd have it up today. These great knives. And then I went to go set up the raffle, and there's this thing. There's this thing about raffles in the United States where if you're not a charity, you can't do a raffle because raffling is gambling. So I can't make a raffle. So I might have to just do an auction. I was really wanting to do the raffle because I really wanted people to be able to just put, you know, I know COVID works all weird and stuff. I just wanted people to be able to put 20 bucks into the hat. And if they get a prize, great. If they don't, they get to support Vic. But you can't do a raffle unless you're a 501c3 charity, and a 501c3 charity can't contribute to Vic's GoFundMe. Can't do it. So if it was just a matter of being a 501c3 charity and that would work out, I'd just set one up. I can set up 501c3s. It's not that big of a deal. But they can't give money to an individual. It doesn't work that way. So you can't. And then I found a site and I was like, oh, cool. This one will let me do it, right? This one will let me do a cool little raffle. Oh, that was British. It was a British site. And it was, why is there a cat in my room? Come here. Come here, button. Law cat just arrived. He looks angry. Just kidding. Say hi. Hi. Now, go away. All right. So. Now there's fur everywhere. Jeez. So anyway, 501c3 charities cannot give money to individuals in that way. It doesn't work. Where it's like, oh, it's a 501c3 charity for this person. No. Very, very unlawful. And then the British one, it would be allowable under the British laws, the UK laws and the UK Gaming Commission. But I'm not a UK. I'm not a UK organization. I'm not a UK citizen or resident. And so while I may be able to set up a raffle on a British website, I would still be theoretically under American law and would be subjecting myself to some potential very bad legal liability. Unlicensed gaming is not something that I want to be having to apologize for in court in any sort of way. So no raffle, as far as I can tell. Looking into a couple more options, but and unfortunately, I've looked into GoFundMe, doing the raffle through GoFundMe, but they do not allow you to mention any sort of knife or weapon, as it jeopardizes their payment processing, apparently. So they don't allow the knives. I did ask about that, and I don't think YouTube would let me do it either. So it's really, really stupid. It shouldn't be this way. I get it that they really don't want gambling, but I don't think people setting up individual raffles is that big of a deal. But, you know, it's the law. So we'll find a different way. It may just be an auction. It may just be an auction. And if it's an auction, then it's an auction. But I did call Ken, I messaged Ken and Ken called me, and I talked to him about it because we were really hoping to do the raffle option. But, you know, yeah. Anyway, pull the T, Greg, and crowdfund it with random prizes. Yeah, no. I have some modicum of integrity that I will hold on to. Anyway. All right. What else is going on before we get started? Just the last couple things. Drexel, I believe, is coming out tomorrow. So we should have some interesting show stuff tomorrow. Maybe a show on Saturday as well. There will be a show on Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time, which means I'll be leaving Bibble's D&D stream a few minutes early to pop over and we will have a show with a lawyer doing who does workplace litigation. We're going to talk about workers' rights and stuff like that, especially in the context of COVID. If you guys have questions, kind of general questions about workers' rights, what your rights may be, come ask them on Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on Rekieta Law, and you'll have an expert on the line to discuss that with, and I'll be discussing and asking questions and all of that stuff. So some of my questions involve mandatory mask use at workplaces, what happens when they're not enforcing mandatory masks, what happens, retaliation for COVID reporting, stuff like that. That's the kind of questions that I've got because they're kind of topical and I think they'll facilitate a good discussion. But if you guys have different questions about workers' rights, make sure and come ask. It's a specialized field of law. I don't practice it, so I'm going to be really happy to have a practitioner on the line for you guys. Next thing. What else? Cat, get out. Why are you in here? Don't look at me like that. Anyway, oh yeah, the weirdo guy who keeps sending me emails. He keeps sending me emails. Now, this guy promised me he would Minecraft himself today and didn't do it apparently, because he's still sending me emails. But so I'm glad he's alive, I guess. I don't want anybody to die, but that's still going. They're weird, man. They're weird emails. I don't know what else to say about them. Like, going through them would take longer than going through the Ronversations, and they may be crazier, and I don't want to upstage Ron. That seems unfair. All right, but anyway, that's still going on. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's hit a couple of the chats that have come in, and then we will jump into the document. Gelf, that was part of so many. Lord Weebly says, I am a collector weeb, and it is no exaggeration to say I have spent over $25,000 on my hobby in the past 7 years. By the way, I am a proponent of hobbies. I think hobbies are good. I think hobbies are cool. I don't even care if I hate your hobby. I think hobbies are something that men do, specifically male. I think male hobbying is something that's now I know women hobby too. Don't get me wrong, but I think men hobby in a particular way, and I think it's a healthy outlet for them, and it's a nice place to go to. So I clap unironically. I think it's great that you have the ability to do that. And, if that's what you like to do, do it, man. Says, I haven't even watched any for 1.5 years now. Oh, damn. Because now it makes me mad to hear, even if I go to subs, they lost me forever. No! That sucks. Here, I guess I should have read the whole message before clapping. I'm sorry to hear that, man. There's an escape out there for you, buddy. There is. If you hate it, sell it off. If, maybe you'll make some money on it. But otherwise, you got to find something else. I do think men need hobbies. I really do. I think it's important for our sanity that we have something to pour our time and effort and energy and attention into. But yeah. And also Robute Gilliman tells me that's true. RZEQDW says the lockdown is fake and gay. to protest. I invite everyone to come to my house for the first annual BoomerCon, Saturday, August 15th. Wait a minute, your house or my house? I think I got in trouble with that. What's going on? I think I got suckered right there. Thank you. Thank you, RZEQDW. August 15th. I mean, I don't know if I'll even be here. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's do this. Oh, so we've got... I gotta pull up Ron's thing here. Give me a second. Oh, I did a video earlier today. I didn't announce it on Twitter, but I did release a video earlier today that you guys may want to check out. I found it very, very interesting. Come on. Hold on. The U.S. Army, first of all, let's briefly address this. The United States Army has an esports team. So that's the first thing I need to mention, is that the U.S. Army has an esports team. And that is, I'm still not going to get over that. But they do, and they have a Twitch channel. The U.S. Army Twitch channel. It's the same thing. I mean, if you have a problem with it or whatever, like, I think it's mind-blowing that it's real, but also, I mean, they have a football team, right? They have the Army-Navy football game and stuff like that. So I guess esports is just other sports, just with an E in front of it and, less body mass by volume or whatever, or less muscle mass by volume anyway. But it's a thing. And someone went on there the other day. Someone went on to the Twitch channel for the Army the other day, and they asked what their favorite United States war crime was. And then they got banned from the Twitch chat. And that raises a really interesting question. Can the US, or is banning someone from the Twitch chat based on a question about US war crimes on a US Army Twitch channel a violation of the First Amendment rights of the person banned? And the answer is probably yes. As goofy and weird as that is likely a violation of your First Amendment rights. It just is. The U.S. Army stopping you from speaking. And this is based on a 2018 appellate court decision that said that Trump's Twitter account is a public forum that he is using for government business, right? Trump tweets from Trump's Twitter account, not from POTUS or something like that. Tweets from his own account, but he talks about official U.S. policy on that account. And therefore, they found that banning people or blocking people from that Twitter account was similarly a violation of free speech. So under that line of thinking, the U.S. Army banning someone from a Twitch chat based on the content of their speech has to fall under the same government tests that we would put for any other suppression or infringement of speech. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting, and it does lead to questions. Spectre, the person in the Twitch chat isn't under UCMJ. So that's the problem. But it does leave... Spectre, the person in the Twitch chat isn't in the Army. It's the just you or whatever watching it. So, anyway, it's an interesting thing. You can go watch the video if you want. I posted it earlier today, and it's leading towards something. All this is building up towards something. And that's kind of the question, is where will this end up? And here's where I kind of hope it ends up. I kind of hope it ends up where these social media platforms that have government actors on them and welcome those government actors. I mean, Twitch is monetizing the Army's esports recruitment arm, because that's what it is. They're trying to recruit young people into the Army by playing Call of Duty or whatever online. They're doing that. The government is engaging on Twitter to shell out policy. Do these places become quasi-state entities for the purposes of free speech? And I think we're going to see a lot of questions about that over the next decade. And where it's going to go is really kind of up in the air. So I think it's great. I think it's great. It was a cool video. You can check it out if you want. Spectre, look, my tax dollars don't go towards government jokes. Okay, let's do this. So here is the stream from yesterday. And I didn't really want to do 2 Ronversation streams in a row. I didn't like set out as the goal, but I really want to get through this topic. But here we go. Ron Toye. See, I pinned it. So all can find it. And several people clearly have. Ron Toye says, you know, she was questioned the assault. I think Ron started drinking before I did. You know, she was questioned the assault. But when Vig hurt so many people, one more account seemed redundant. She wasn't worried about Twitter. You and your goons couldn't stop her from speaking up. What are you hiding, Nick? Let's do this one thing at a time. You know, she was questioned the assault, but you know, she was questioned the assault. That's not a phrase that makes any sense at all. That is lunacy, and you should be ashamed of yourself, Ron. But when Vig hurt so many people, one more account seemed redundant. Well, if it was redundant, then maybe don't add to it. But that's a lie, isn't it, Ron? Isn't it? Because Monica's account isn't redundant. It's inherently different from all the others. Ron, stop. 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 This is pathetic, man. If her story is redundant, then it would be the same. But it's not the same, and she didn't want it to be the same. It was written in a way to be unique to her. Because if it happened, it was unique to her. And it was categorically different from, well, he hugged me at a convention. Well, that's because Monica isn't a fan to hug at a convention. Plus, his arms, if he tried to strain that hug out, he would pull his back muscles, buddy. You know that. She wasn't worried about Twitter. Who is? Who is? I mean, men should be worried about Twitter. But leftist, verified blue check, horse-faced Monica Rial, why would she be worried about Twitter? What's Twitter going to do to her? She's got milquetoast, left of center opinions. Oh my God, somebody stop the press. It's every other boring woman. Jesus, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with another average opinion? Holy hell, stop it immediately. Next, you and your goons couldn't stop her from speaking up. Ron, no one ever tried to stop Monica from speaking up. Ever. Ever. No one tried to stop her from speaking up. They just asked her, wait, do you have any proof of this? And she flipped out and called Homeland Security. She literally tried to get the government, the federal government that stops terrorists, to stop people questioning her on Twitter. You weirdo. The projection is off the damn charts, buddy. But Monica Rial threatened to report people to federal policing agencies that try to kill terrorists before they blow up schools because they made fun of her on Twitter or just simply said, you know, I'm not so sure I believe you. Oh my God. How dare they? How dare they? I'm sending this to Homeland Security and my attorney. Have a nice day. Oh, Jesus. But Ron, there's another aspect of this. The only person with a goon is Monica. And the goon is you. And that's your own admission. Do you see how this works, Ron? Because I never, ever asked anybody to bother you guys or talk to you guys. I, in fact, encourage them to do the opposite. Don't bother you. I even encourage people to only go visit Monica if they support her and like her. And if they do, to please go do it. To not let this type of stuff interfere with their fandom of her. You left that one out of all the filings, didn't you? Because at the end of the day, I want everybody to work. I want everybody to have a good time. But anyway, that being said, I never asked people. I don't have goons. I don't know what you're talking about. People may act on their own, and I am never their dad. I'm my kid's dad and no one else's. I don't mess around with that. People do stuff on the internet. That's their problems. Won't catch me telling them to do anything or not do anything. I will suggest, you know, please don't do this. Don't bother people. Don't harass them because people don't need to be harassed. But if they ultimately do it, I mean, what do you want me to do about that? Nothing else I can do. But here's the thing. You acted as a goon for Monica, and it's all over the place. Monica was being attacked, so you felt like you needed to go out and tweet hundreds of times attacking people and defending her and defending you or whatever. You are the goon. You chose to be the goon. I'm on the goon squad. You are the goon squad, right? Like that's what happened. And then what are you hiding, Nick? I don't think anything. What am I hiding, Ron? Please do tell. Tell me what I'm hiding, please. Please, I need to find it. I need to find it. All right, so with that said, quick look at Vic's Go fundraiser. $282,720. It is still here. It is still operational. And as I stated, it will be here for the duration of the suit. So, that said, we're done with the intro stuff. And we're going to get back into this interview, and I'm going to try and muscle through it. You know, you and your goons couldn't keep us silent. Ron, the saddest day of my life, except for the mild humor of it, was you getting kicked off of Twitter. And the only thing I liked about you getting kicked off Twitter, Ron, was that you got to see that maybe it wasn't fair that you got kicked off Twitter. Because I know you don't think you're a hateful, awful, nasty person. Remember what you talked about to me. You said that I must be because I got banned from Twitter, so I must have been bad. Right? Because rules are always perfectly implemented, right, Ron? By that logic, Ron, you are as bad as me, and I know that burns you up. But it actually, aside from that schadenfreude that you had to deal with, I didn't want you kicked off of Twitter. Ever. It was much easier to go through our direct messages than to go through these long-ass interviews. My God, man. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait. I am Pinhead says, couldn't find military special, but Balvene Doublewood did the trick. Well, yeah. Yeah, a bottle of Balvene Doublewood is worth like 12 military specials. Bought a bottle today, and I got a call about a phone interview 2 hours later. Get it, son. Get it. Get it. Get that job. Hope it goes well for you. All right. Here we go. Wait. It's muted. It's muted. I know. I'll fix it. Okay. Let's see. Nivok de Ork says, a poem. Hickory dickory dock. Soye loves the cock. Slob the knob, worship the rod, cause that's a cuck. Prep the bull, ready the pull, as Monica feels the lull. Dive in like a slob, doing your job, cleaning up after the mob. Okay. I showered earlier, but I need to shower one more time. Immediately. That's disgusting. Oh, all right. Okay, so I backed it up after screwing up the muting.
Change and adapt, and he ignored it because he thought he didn't have to listen.
So one thing I have a question for is, so say you're a fan of Vix, right? Let's role play for a moment. Let's say you're a fan of Vix. You're waiting in line.
Don't ask Ron to roleplay, Ken. Soon you'll be getting hammered by a dude.
To go meet him, get a signature or whatever. You observe for an hour or more of how this interaction is going to go down. If I meet you, how do I know what your boundaries are?
Ask.
Okay. Or tell.
Right.
Wait. Okay. My cat, Lawcat, is dumb. Lawcat went and closed the door and locked himself in. So I have to step away for 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. What a dope. Anyway. Okay. So, Ken brings up an interesting question, right? You're going to sit in line, you go through this whole thing, and you're going to get there. How does Vic know what your boundaries are? And Ron says, ask. Ron is dumb, but he knows that this isn't a real thing, because there's no way that every person who comes up to Monica's table when Ron is sitting there watching from the sidelines as always, that she says, what are your boundaries? Because that's the worst sales pitch in history, unless you're at a BDSM club, right? Like, that's the worst sales pitch ever. If you walk in to the Verizon store and they walk up and say, what are your boundaries? That's when you turn around, open the door, walk out, and go down the street to the AT&T store, because that person is probably a molester of some sort. You need to get away from that disgusting cretin as fast as possible. And if Monica sat down at her table and every single person walked up and she said, what are your boundaries? Pretty soon, no one would walk up to her table. It's uncomfortable. It's unnatural. It's weird. And it also wastes people's time. Now, Monica may not know this, but Vic sure as heck does, because Vic's lines are hundreds of people long. If you've got people coming up, you have maybe 20 to 30 seconds of guaranteed time. If I ask you what your boundaries are, and you respond to me with your boundaries, we've now eaten up a significant segment of that time. Can't get it back. There's a ton of other people waiting. Maybe it should be like a chiropractor or a doctor or whatever, where everybody in line gets a sheet of paper, a clipboard, and a pen, and they have to write down what their boundaries are. And then when they get up to the table, they hand Vic their boundaries, and then he puts on like some reading glasses and looks them over and goes, "Oh, okay. Like, is that the idea?" I unironically think that that's what these morons would actually want as a system. So I'm sad that I just recommended it. But that's the lunacy of this situation. Ask. Ken's like, or you could tell him, because the overwhelming majority of people don't have those boundaries of like no hug or, you know, I don't like to be touched at all. Please don't put your hand on my shoulder. Most people don't have that. Most people don't have that. Most people are just fine with a little physical contact. So you don't have to do it. So that's why Ken's solution, or tell him, is the better one. If you have the boundary, it should be incumbent upon you to say, yeah, by the way, like Vic stands up and starts coming towards you. Hey, whoa, I don't actually hug. Okay, cool. I have not seen a single story where someone told Vic not to hug them and he did. Amazingly.
But I would put the impetus on the adult versus the fan / potential.
This motherfucker, does this guy, yet again, look at how Ron sees you, how Ron sees everybody. The adult, not the fan. Most fans are adults. The overwhelming majority of fans at conventions that I've seen are actually 18 plus by a significant amount. They are adults. The amount of children there is low because these hobbies are kind of expensive and conventions aren't cheap. And so, like, you know, and some of the stuff that goes on at conventions, shocker, is a little racy. Some of the cosplay and stuff. Parents may not want to bring their kids to that type of show until they're of a certain age. But you don't see a ton of like little children running around at most of the conventions I've been to. And certainly standing in line for hours. You get a kid to stand in a line for 2 or 3 hours and not have a Disney ride at the end of it. And I will shake your hand if that is not opposed to your boundaries. Insufficient clearance says, thanks, Nikki. Now my toddler is running around yelling cuck. Oh, no. Oh, change it into a, just tell your wife or whatever, or your friends or loved ones that he just mispronouncing duck and he thought that ducks say their own name when they quack. Cuck, 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 Mr. Cucksworth. Give it a shot.
Teenager, or, you know, one's 50 something, the other's, let's call him 20.
Let's call him an adult. Oh, it's condescending sack of garbage. Ugh.
I would put the impetus on the person who's the adult professional versus the other person. That's just my
It's on both people, though.
True.
I mean, if I have a problem with people hugging me, you know, say for whatever reason I don't like being touched because of whatever happened to me in my past, and I'm seeing someone consistently back to back to back give hugs, I think part of my responsibility is to say, look, I know this makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry if you normally do this. I would appreciate it if you didn't hug me or, hey, can you please not touch me? I'm sorry. Yeah. It's nothing personal. Like, it would take a split second.
Yeah, absolutely. Because here, Ron's forced to agree with Ken because, yes, of course. Of course.
To do.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think a lot of criticism I've seen has come from, is people are going, you know, you're watching for a long time in these lines, people hug, 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 hug. Is it not reasonable to expect the same gesture when you walk up?
And that's the part where it's the beauty of why this is an amazing debate. It is open.
It's not an amazing debate.
It is open to the eye of the beholder.
No, it isn't.
And that's the situation in the
God, fucking cuckscent is not real, Ron. I explained this to you before. It's not in the eye of the beholder. It's actually not, because you aren't involved in the transaction. You are a little piece of shit gremlin on the sidelines going, well, I don't like that. I don't like what those two people are doing. I don't like what they're doing. Cuckscent isn't real. It can't be. Because the only part of the cuck's consent that matters to the woman, if we're going to like actual cuckoldry, is the humiliating aspect of it. So when we transliterate cuckscent into the two people doing something and the cuck over there agreeing or not agreeing, it doesn't actually play out the same. It's not the same thing because there's no humiliation aspect to it. You aren't involved ever in what other people find comfortable or not. It may be the person involved in the interaction that matters. Maybe like what is that fucking liar Emmett Plant, the serial liar and self-aggrandizing idiot Emmett Plant, and his whole thing where Vic put his hand on a woman's leg and oh man, he just felt like that was too much. Emmett, it's not your leg. You don't get any input in that interaction. It's not you. These people, if you can call them that, it's not your place to deal with other people's interactions. Because the funny thing is, Ron is sitting here saying people have different boundaries, refusing to acknowledge the fact that the people who are exercising those boundaries have different boundaries than him. And worse yet, Ron is a hugger according to Monica. So this motherfucker is sitting here lying about it to the world, openly and brazenly. And when other people said, hey, that time, on video where you said Ron's a hugger and he hugs that woman and doesn't ask for her consent at all. And actually Monica says, Ron wants to give you a hug too. He's a hugger or whatever. When that was brought up, you guys bristled at that. Well, bunch of explaining, right? Well, they clearly consented, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Other people weren't comfortable. Ron, I'm not comfortable with you touching anybody. Ever. In any way. Friendly, unfriendly, sexual, mundane, it doesn't matter. I am uncomfortable with you having physical contact with any other human being. Ever. You can't change that. So therefore, you can never touch another person. If you do, you should be fired and your reputation should go into the dirt because you're a sexual predator. You disgusting sexual predator. Probably pedophile. Right? That's how it works, right, Ron? Because that's how it works now. That's the world you want to build. Angry Baneling, he can touch himself. I said a person.
This with a public situation. It is fair to say some of those things, and it is something that could go both ways. But in all of this, we are assuming and forming opinions on how others are doing it. And that.
No, you are! That's the amazing thing. You're forming the opinions and deciding it's not okay.
That's why where I've said it over and over, it made no sense to file this lawsuit, because in this situation, we're talking about, is it fair? Should the person speak up? Yeah, maybe. But
so is it fair to assume then, because just keeping on the same topic briefly here, is it fair to assume that by you saying that you've never had this conversation with Vic, et cetera, and you're assuming what his motivations are and what his thought process is, that's not really a fair thing to say, because you've never had a conversation with him about it?
And part of it is, when we talk about fair, that's where I keep getting hung up on the word. It is a right. You're allowed to have an opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion. Whether it's fair or not is
your opinion stops when it's a factual statement that causes damage to someone else, and that factual statement is false. Your rights end there. That's not a right. I do not, no matter how free speech it is, right now, you do not have the right to lie about someone else and cause them damage if the lie is about a factual thing. You don't have that right. It's not part of your free speech. It's not like an exception to free speech. It's not protected speech at all. It's just not. So you don't have a right to do that. It's not an opinion when you say that Vic forcibly kissed me if he didn't do it. That's not an opinion anymore. That's a fact question.
Irrelevant. It's, do you have the right to have an opinion based on what you've observed? And do I have a right? Now, if I share my opinion, does someone else have the right?
If your opinion is he's factually a sexual predator, then no, you don't.
To sue or not sue? Yes. You have the right. I have the right. Am I willing to pay the consequences? Yes. No. But
no, you aren't. Let's be clear on this. Guys, Ron has talked a lot about his insurance. I came to a realization today. Ron mentioned he paid about $50,000 in legal fees, right? And I think the total amount paid in legal fees to Wick Phillips was something like $100,000 total. So that would be presumably including whatever Ron paid, and then plus whatever when the insurance took over, whatever they paid, if that's true at all. But here's the thing. When Wick Phillips was in court on the fee hearing, Hellberg, whatever his name is, they weren't acting like their fees were going to get paid by an insurance policy. They weren't acting that way. They were acting like their fees weren't going to get paid, to the point where Jeffrey Hellberger was basically yelling at the judge. Because, they knew this decision was coming, and they knew they weren't getting anywhere near their full fees. He's yelling at the judge. Now, why is that? Now, on their appeal, they're fighting pretty damn hard for the fees. Why is that? Well, it's either to punish Vic, but you're putting a lot of potential money into punishing Vic. And here's something we know. We know that Casey Eric, Andrea Perez, and Lemoyne were all hired prior to August. Ron said that the insurance company, he didn't know about the insurance until August. If we take Ron at his word, and if that's true, then Ron had hired all of his counsel prior to the insurance company stepping in, which means the insurance company didn't pick counsel. Now that's fine. Some insurance policies will pay out to counsel they don't pick. That's okay. But if the insurance company doesn't have a relationship with the counsel and isn't able to set rates, I don't know if you guys know this. Maybe you probably don't. If you are an auto, auto accident attorney who works for insurance companies. The insurance company calls you up, and what they say is, hey, we've got this personal injury case. We need you to defend it. We'll pay you $280 an hour, and then that's that. And then they might have like a, with a maximum payout amount of this. This is our benefit amount. And you either go, okay, or you go, no. And then they just go, all right, we'll call the next guy on the list. And they'll hang up and they'll call the next guy because there's another lawyer. Shockingly, there's always another lawyer. Now, Ron files his insurance claim. All right, they come in. They're not allowed to pick counsel. They're not allowed to set fees. What can they do? What is the insurance company's mitigating thing here? Well, it's a policy limit, right? We'll pay up to X amount of dollars on this lawsuit. If Ron paid about $50,000 and the total bill paid is about $100,000, that puts this interesting number in our heads, right? Kind of a round one. It's about $100,000, about $100,000. But it also puts about $50,000 on the insurance company. That kind of sounds like a policy limit. I wonder what the policy limit is on Ron's very good defamation insurance. Because I tell you what, everything they have said about insurance attorneys so far doesn't actually add up with how insurance attorneys act. Or how insurance companies act. You guys, put yourself in the shoes of you. Let's say you get in an auto accident. You call up your auto insurance company. You're like, no. I got a mechanic shop. Don't worry. They'll just send you an invoice for whatever it costs. Right? No. What they'll do is they'll say, you can take it to our shop here, this guy, and then we'll pay it out. Or we'll pay you a benefit amount of X amount of dollars based on what our adjuster estimates the damage to be, up to your policy limit. That's how actual insurance companies work. The way Ron has phrased this is, got insurance, bro. Got insurance. Insurance companies don't write blank checks to attorneys because we will use it. We will use that insurance money. You can bill for everything ever. Auto insurance attorneys, they pick up the phone. That's 6 minutes. That's 1/10 of an hour. For a lot of attorneys, that could be $20-$30 just picking up the phone, dialing it. They stay on that phone for 7 minutes. Boom, 2/10 of an hour. Automatically. Email 10th. Next email 10th. Next email 10th. They will rack that bill through the damn roof because a big company's paying. They're guaranteed to get paid. They've negotiated it out and they know they have a top limit. They're going to just get to that top limit. They'll do it. I would be very surprised if paying counsel for a defamation lawsuit amounts to much more than 50 grand. I'd be really surprised to see it hit to $280,000 to $300,000. And I think their behavior in this case, and more importantly, the behavior of the people who are standing to not get paid, tells something about it. I think it's pretty interesting. Anyway, just Tracy Dealman, homeowners insurance will pay for personal injury cases. Defamation is a personal injury case. But the thing is, if you lose a defamation case, you may not be getting paid anything because it's intentional acts. And then there's all sorts of questions about what the insurance company is going to pay. I think they may have exhausted that policy limit based on the actions of his attorney, based on his words. And he keeps talking about how keeps waffling back and forth. I think we talked about this yesterday between, I don't even need to get paid, and then pay up. Everybody's going to pay up. They're going to pay us back. Ron isn't getting a dime of the money if the insurance company's paying. If the insurance company pays 100% of Ron's fees and they go to court and win 100% of Ron's fees, guess who gets all of that money? The insurance company. That's it. Ron doesn't get a cent. Why would he? He didn't pay anything. And that insurance company did. They are going to recoup the money. So Ron's like, yeah, we're going to get paid on this, blah, blah. None of the things that they do make sense with what he's claiming about the insurance. And I think they're terrified of it.
Fair is a hard stance because it involves emotion. And we buy on emotion and justify with logic, right? So in this situation, we bought this lawsuit because of emotion, and we try to justify it with logic. But then when you follow the logic train, it doesn't add up to a conclusion of this made sense because it's...
That didn't make sense, Ron. Oh, God. Rob Van Pelt says, hey, Nikki, there's a great Ron-related cartoon in Racket streaming in Discord for you and Ron to see. Hold on. What is this? In Racket streaming. Hold on. Okay, I'll pull it up real quick. This is pretty funny. Did Pixlexia draw this? Nice little quick sketch. I'm on the Goon Squad. You are the Goon Squad. And 17-0. I like it. Good job. Thank you, Pixlexia. Thank you. Anyway, back to this disaster of a... You follow the logic train. Oh, it doesn't pan out. It doesn't make sense.
Most of it is based on emotion. What was the interpretation of the event? What did this person feel? Is it fair?
No, that's not actually what it's based on. I hate pausing this so much, but every single phrase is so stupid. Ron, when you say this person is a sexual predator, that's not an emotion. That's not an emote. No one's emoting sexual predator at someone except for maybe Ron Jeremy right now. No one's actually emoting sexual predator, okay? That's not a thing that you can do. When you say Vic grabbed me, threw me on the bed, and kissed me without my consent, that's not emotion. Those are facts. When you say Vic reached up into my hair, grabbed it, pulled it down, pulled me in, and whispered something sexual or not into my ear, that's not emotion. Those are facts. Did he reach up, splay his fingers, grab her by the short hairs, drag her in, and whisper into her ear? All of that is a fact question. There's no emotion involved in that at all. Did he do it? If he didn't do it, then you're fucking liars and you need to be punished for it. If he did it, then he needs to be punished for it. That's how it goes. There's no emotion involved. It's just, did this happen? If it didn't happen, you lied to hurt someone, and that needs to be rectified. If it did happen, then probably shouldn't have brought the lawsuit. But here's the thing. He says it didn't happen. Now we're stuck with him versus Jamie. And I'm sorry, I believe him over Jamie. I believe him over Monica. I certainly believe him over you. And I definitely believe him over Funimation's corporate speak.
Those things equal a successful lawsuit. It might...
You have no idea what equals a successful lawsuit.
Make you want to file one. I've wanted to file them several times because my feelings got hurt.
That's gay, Ron! Imagine being this moron. Well, my feelings are hurt. I'm gonna file a lawsuit. Fuck off. You're the worst person I've ever encountered. What is wrong with you? Well, my feelings got hurt. I'm going to file a lawsuit. Ron, feelings are not losing your career and hundreds of thousands of dollars in appearances and also your entire reputation. That's not a feeling getting hurt. Your feelings get hurt when you look in the mirror. Your feelings get hurt when your mouthwash comes out and you're like, why didn't you stay in there? My mouth is great. Your feelings get hurt constantly. You're a baby. You're a control freak. You're sensitive and you're boring. Oh my God. If you sued everybody who hurt your feelings, there'd be no one left. But the sad thing is you want to. I've never thought my feelings are hurt, I'm going to sue someone. Ever. That is so quintessentially and stereotypically American litigation. But it's not actually true. Jesus.
I got my convicted on certain things that I feel like, oh shit, that might be, but I don't think this person should say this about me because I've done all this work. But I don't.
Ron wants to silence people using lawsuits constantly. The thing that it always, in this case, always has boiled down to something simple. Projection. Constantly projection. They must be doing this. Why would you think that? Oh, because you're doing it. Vic must be trying to silence us. Why? Because I would. No, that's not the proper use of a lawsuit. The proper use of a lawsuit is compensation for damage done. Everybody else knew this. You didn't because you're a vindictive, whiny pile of... I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to use less profanity, but fuck me. Catch you later, Gelf. Romeo Garbo says, Ron exists. Nick, what have I done in a past life to deserve this? What have I done?
File it because I know I get my ass packed in at court, and I don't want to do that and spend a ton
Very homophobic.
of money.
Well, and yeah, and opinions aren't actionable, absolutely. But when you're talking about like felony level things and saying that this person has committed X felony, that would be crossing the line, would it not?
No one ever said X felony, maybe.
You did!
But if somebody's saying, hey, this person did this because I know X, Y, and Z, then that's something based on a personal... Like, for instance, when I say...
Those are felonies! God damn it!
That I know for a fact he did this to my friend and my fiance and 3 of my close personal friends. There's actually more, but I said that over and over because
There's actually more. There it is again. There it is again. Lying and implying, as Dick would call it. There's actually more. Oh, are there? Who? Who, you pussy? Who is it? Who is it? Nut up and put it on the table. Say it, bitch. Say it. Say it. It happened, right? It's all true, right? Say it. Put it out there. You've never backed any of this up. And we know if Monica backed something up because the beeping would kill us.
believe it and still to this day hold fast to it because I know what they told me. And so that's how I form my opinion.
So let me just run this by you really quick.
That's how I form my opinion. No, that when you recite factual scenarios, that isn't an opinion that you formed. That's stating facts. Stating facts is not forming an opinion. You can have an opinion about those facts, but if you say, Vic did this to these people that I know, that's not an opinion you formed about him. That's facts that you're stating. Fuck's sake.
Quickly, and I'll let you finish. I'm sorry for interrupting. So for expressing an opinion about something, say like from what I know of this person, I have heard X, Y, and Z about them, so it is my belief that they are capable of A, right? that is an opinion. That's stating an opinion. Do you think that at some point, at any point during this, that like willful or accidental, that you may have said something to the terms of, instead of an opinion statement, that Vic did this, or Vic is guilty of this, instead of what you meant to say was one thing, but you accidentally said it the other way?
No, I think everything.
You literally fucking did! God damn it, 2 seconds ago you did! Vic did this to these people that I know is saying Vic did this. That's not... It's the literal... Oh, Lord Jesus in heaven. Oh. Look, I paused it on the perfect face. Someone get this man a helmet. He's about to stand up.
I said was exactly the way I meant it and thought. And anytime.
How do you know you fucking lied under oath about it then? If it's what you meant and thought, you said under oath at deposition that you didn't recall what you meant by it, you fucking liar.
Time that there was ever any confusion, I cleared it up. And that's all part of the record, especially if anyone ever thought I...
No! On the record, you lied, you fucker! You lied about it! You said you didn't know, you didn't remember, which is a great legal defense. It's fantastic. Oh, good. Jerk off Casey Eric. That's fine. But that was a fucking lie. You're telling us right now you lied under oath. You lied. You say, I meant every word of it. I said what I meant, and then I clarified what I meant. Fuck you. This is why nobody likes you. This is why you're a weasel, why you're a liar, probably why your license should be revoked to deal with people on their home mortgages, because you fucking lied under oath. It'll never happen. Don't anybody get their hopes up. No court's gonna come after him for it, but we can judge him for fucking lying about it and admitting to it here. Fuck you.
Accused him of a crime or something that was like egregious or a felony or anything like that. I'm like, that's why I've said it over and over, and it's part of the record that I'm like, no, why didn't we go to court? Why didn't we call the cops? Because do you call the cops if someone cuts you off in traffic or...
You didn't accuse somebody of you didn't accuse him of cutting him off in traffic. You said he sexually assaulted your friends and your personal fucking fiance. But it's not a crime. Yes, it is. That is a crime. Whether you're retarded enough to figure that out or not doesn't matter. If you say that, look, well, she was resisting and he put his penis inside her ass. Oh, but it's not a crime though. Yes, it is. That's the literal definition of rape. Fuck you. Just because you call it not a crime later doesn't mean you didn't accuse someone of a crime. And you said charges would be coming. You're such a goddamn coward.
Some people do.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's you just kind of move on from that point. Mm-hmm. But that's where it's like a big, huge situation. It's like,
you just kind of move on. You didn't move on, though. You didn't, did you?
Like, I'm not going to call the cops when somebody jaywalks. Is it illegal? I don't fucking know. I'm not a cop, but sometimes cops are dickholes and they try to arrest you for it.
Yes, jaywalking's illegal. Do you need help with this? Jaywalking's illegal.
Or stop you. And
that's why there's a criminal statute for jaywalking. Fuck me.
But that's where it's like, I don't feel like what he did was something that was a level to the point where you call it, like, from the people that I know, Libby, this one, Monica, no. That
he doesn't believe. What Monica described, if she's telling the truth, was absolutely a crime. You fucking idiot. It was unquestionably a criminal act that she described. You don't think so because you are an abuser. And it can't be emphasized enough in just how much danger the people around you are in. It can't be stated enough. Monica, Ron Jr., any woman. Ron thinks sexual assault is just being a jerk. Here's the scary thing. Lots of people, Ron included, are fine with being jerks. I'm fine with being a jerk. Fuck you. I don't care about being a jerk. Being a jerk is not the same as sexual assault. Monica, you are unsafe. Because if Ron's feeling like a jerk, I know he's a wonderful little prince right now, right? Now, we know what's really going on, but if the relationship is as he describes it and as you pretend to describe it in public, if he's just your wonderful little prince and so great, the day he feels like being a jerk is the day you eat hands. Get help while you can. That thing is a time bomb of abuse. And it's terrifying. Because the day that Ron feels like being a jerk and you're not in the mood, guess what? Well, what Vic did wasn't a crime. It's just being mean. Get help. There are lots of places. Men like Ron are a dime a billion. You can find an abusive manlet anywhere on the planet. You can find, they're all over the place. Don't worry. Don't worry. Someone else will simp for you.
Is something that's inappropriate. It sucks. That was their decision. Is he going to jail for it? No.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why the lawsuit didn't make sense. And I can't speak to everything else that's happened. I can only talk to the things I've mentioned in the lawsuit, and I said it over and over. What he did was, in my opinion, bad.
You called him a sexual predator. You said he would walk away a registered sex offender. The things you described were sexual assault.
But anybody calling the cops on him? No. Why do people feel like they need to have the cops called on somebody to be able to?
Because if they're sexually assaulting you, you fucking call the police, you disgusting pig.
Voice up the fact that somebody did something messed up to them.
I mean, someone in the chat said, and I believe I remember seeing this, is one of the tweets you made was that if this went to court, he would walk away a registered sex offender. That's a big claim, regardless of the the fact statement of that or not.
And that's part of, and that's was asked in the deposition and kind of addressed in those situations. And it's like, I don't know in the context of the communication if that tweet was about Vic, because and maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But in the time period
it was, you fucking liar!
At all the tweets.
God damn it! This asshole just said. He just said. I meant everything I said. I meant it all. Fuck you. God, you're such a pile of shit, Ron. Ron, buy a book. I'll buy you the book. Tell me where to send the book, How to Not Be a Pile of Shit. If it doesn't exist, I'll fucking write it for you. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? A2P says, Ron Toye is still posting on Kiwi Farms. I thought I was a masochist when I punched myself in frustration, but Toye is leagues ahead of me in self-harm. My God. Kalinka Pavlova says, Nick, I shan't swear tomorrow so the universe will remain in balance while you blast Ron in the raw way tonight. Bless. Thank you for your sacrifice, Kalinka. Thank you.
It's the same time period I was talking about Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby.
Liar!
But at the same time,
You
I said
liar!
it in my deposition. When I am hearing stories of 12, 14...
You weren't talking to Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein on Twitter, you fucking dolt. You were responding to someone about Vic specifically.
This-year-olds and then hiring prostitutes. What happens when you get caught with a prostitute?
So, well, Ron,
Which was admitted to in court in deposition.
I'm going to ask you this, and it's a little bit of a pointed question here.
By the way, if you get caught with a prostitute, you do not walk away a registered sex offender. Let's be very clear on that. You get charged with prostitution. That is not the same as a sex offense. Jesus. AGK, what is it about dudes with full beards and receding hairlines being genuine pests? Also, I forgive you for skipping my yesterday's justice chat. Cheers, mate. What? What? What did you accuse me of? What was it? What's your justice chat name? Oh, it doesn't go back all the way. I didn't think I missed any. Oh.
Because you've said multiple times throughout the stream that you back up everything, that you stand behind what you said 100%. Why is it difficult?
He doesn't stand behind what he says. Someone else stands behind what he says, and he sits in the closet peering through the little shades masturbating.
For you right now to come out and back up the statement that he will walk away a registered sex offender?
Because I don't know if it was about Vic specifically, but I said, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around the tweet was, let's see who walks away a registered sex offender. So
yeah,
in that situation, if
that was regarding your lawsuit that you were currently in.
No, we weren't in a lawsuit at that point. If you look at the
potential of a lawsuit that would involve you.
Maybe. We don't know.
No, that we do know.
Point.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like you've been so adamant and you've been so passionate about backing up your statements, but this is the one statement that you're really not so sure of.
No, I'm 100% sure about this. I'm not sure about the context, but what I'm saying is, I asked you a question. If someone gets caught with a prostitute, what happens?
They get
I would assume that somebody would be embarrassed if they're, unless they're like
a cop,
Dick Masterson, and they don't really care. But
if a cop catches somebody hiring or engaging in
Let's just check. Prostitution, honey. All right. A person commits an offense if the person knowingly offers or agrees to receive a fee from another to engage in sexual conduct. Let's see. Person commits an offense if the person knowingly offers or agrees to pay a fee to another person for the purpose of engaging in sexual conduct with that person or another. An offense under the subsection is a Class B misdemeanor, except the offense is a Class A misdemeanor if the actor has been previously convicted 1 or 2 times, or a state jail felony if the actor has been previously convicted 3 or more times. An offense under subsection B is a Class A misdemeanor, except it's a state felony if they've been convicted of an offense under subsection B, or a felony of the second degree if that person with whom the actor agrees to engage in sexual conduct with is younger than 18, regardless of whether the actor knows, represented to the actor as being younger than 18, or believed by the actor to be younger than 18. It is a defense to prostitution for an offense under subsection A that the actor engaged in the conduct that constitutes the offense because the actor was a victim of conduct that constitutes an offense under section OK. A conviction may be used for the purposes of enhancement under this under subchapter D. You know it's not on here? You know it's not on here at all? Registered sex offender. So you get a Class A or B misdemeanor. That's it. That's it. A class A or B misdemeanor, which means a class A misdemeanor, I believe in Texas, is maximum sentence of 30 days in jail and a maximum fine of $5,000. That's it. That's what happens. You don't walk away a registered sex offender. You probably don't even go to jail. You probably don't even go to jail. You probably pay a fine of around $2,000. If we're being real, if it's a first offense. Second, third, fourth offense, sure, those things go up there. You probably don't even go to jail, Ron.
With a prostitute, what happens?
Depends on the state, depends on the country, depends on the law, etc.
Right, so you don't know, but maybe potentially they could be registered sex offender, right?
No! Wrong! Not maybe potentially. Wrong. Prostitution is not criminal sexual misconduct. I don't think in any state is prostitution criminal sexual misconduct unless the prostitute is a child. Jesus, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, not necessarily.
No. Caught in a sex crime? I don't know that. Maybe.
Thank you, Mr. Hop. No, but the problem, Ron, is you're making fact statements. If you don't know them, don't make them.
The thing is, solicitation of a prostitute is different than sex offender, because sex offender would imply
exactly
a non-consensual act against someone, whereas the prostitution use is a, well, I disagree with it. You know, well, there's effectively a consensual transaction among two adults.
I don't disagree with it. Free the vagina, prostitution for everybody. I'm not going to buy it, but I think dudes should be able to buy their way in. I am with Russell Greer.
I have no problem with that situation, but yeah, I'm not going to.
Oh, you have no problem with it. You have no problem with it. Listen to this disingenuous cunt. Oh my God, he doesn't have a problem with it. It was a big deal, but he doesn't have a problem with it. Fucking fucker. What a dishonest, lying sack of shit.
Label you as a sex offender in, I think, almost any jurisdiction in the country.
I would look into that information if it does or doesn't. If you get it.
It doesn't.
If you get convicted of sleeping or being with a prostitute, I'm not sure.
It doesn't.
No. One second. I'm going to put a cap on this. No.
Thank you, Ron Hop. Coming in. Look. Other Ron. No. Ron Hop hasn't said anything in an hour. He's like, look. No. If I know one thing, it's this. No. It's killing me. Oh, I love Ron Hop. That guy's great.
If you sleep with a prostitute, no, you're not registered as a sex offender. If you send a dick pic to every chick between here X, Y, and Z, yes, possibly. But however, sleeping with another adult is basically consensual between two adults. That's how that works to a T. If the person's younger, let's say 12, 14,
right,
definitely 100%. But if it's an act between two adults, no, not at all. Like you could take that to court and basically balance your checkbook on that. Because
Ron, I've never seen anybody fist someone with a mouth like you just did. That was great.
That part I honestly do know. Am I a lawyer? Of course not. But however,
so we mentioned 14, right, or 6, or underage. So when you see something that was eventually came out sworn under the penalty of perjury from somebody's fiance, right? Mm-hmm. It says the first act with this person was underage. If that, there's a lot of information that because we talked about what I can and can't say.
So 1 second. So here's a question for you.
Right.
Should we be talking about this then?
No, you shouldn't, because one, you're lying. He's fucking implying. Look at this.
I don't fucking know.
I would probably look deep at that and ask yourself, if you're not supposed to talk about it, if you're not supposed to perimeter around it, should we be talking about it, especially the nuances that's following thereof?
Right. That, yeah, you're probably right. But that's why I hate this fucking shit about once this is over, I will be glad to say everything anybody wants to say. But.
Oh, yeah. Please accuse him publicly of pedophilia when it's over. Please bring a new claim involving pedophilia when it's over. Oh, you fucking disgusting pile of shit.
I said my answer to that question in the deposition, and I hate having to say parroted answers, but we can reference back to my answer in the deposition.
Yeah.
So I found your tweet about the sex offense. This is on February 16th, 2019 at 6:53 a.m.
You got a Kiwi farmer with an archive.
So 3 months before that tweet.
It was in direct response to somebody quoting Vic Mignogna's discussion.
Oh no, we lost Ken again.
We lost Ken again. Yeah, he'll be back. But yeah, it was basically like it was no direct apology to Monica or any other survivors. This was regarding his apology to his fans. I'm just going to add Ken back in here. General comment, and if people respected his wishes, why are people still attacking her? I think.
What is Ron Hop drinking? Look at Ron Hop. He's gotten a little bit of flack for laying down or whatever. Ron Hop right now, I think, is just drinking testosterone out of a fucking plastic stein. Because he came in and bitch slapped Ron so hard, I thought I was in Russia.
We give the fans what they want, a court battle, and let's see who walks away a registered sex offender. Let's play that game. That was something from your tweet.
Cool. So what was the conversation before it?
Cool. They literally...
It was somebody that quoted Vic Mignogna's apology to his fans if he offended anybody through his actions. That's what that was, and you replied to that tweet.
Sure. Cool.
If they had the context of a tweet, that'd been nice to have in the middle of a deposition, wouldn't it?
No. You don't need the context. What did you mean by this? You said you don't recall. You wouldn't have answered anyway, you fucking marmot.
It's sad that it wasn't there. Again, my point.
You wouldn't have answered anyway, you lying shithole.
I mean, somebody deserved better representation, right?
Well, looking at it now, though, is it something that you stand by
Yes.
This tweet or the
statement?
His statement.
Because when I'm getting information at that time that somebody might have, because their fiance is mentioning potentially that some of the interactions he had was with underage girls, and I'm seeing stuff online with 12 and 14-year-olds. We have an affidavit sworn under the penalty of perjury that he did that to a girl I think was 16 or 14. I can't.
Okay, let's just talk about that. First of all, that affidavit is full of bullshit. It's full of bullshit. It hasn't really been attacked yet, but it's full of bullshit. That being said, that chick was 16 at the time. In Virginia, guess what the age of consent was in the 80s when this happened? Shocker. It was 16 years old. Actually, I think it was 15. Again, you're wrong. Yet again, you're fucking wrong. You're a lying sack of shit. You know that crazy bitch is lying. You know she is. She has the wrong school. She has the wrong timeline. Everything about that tweet or that bullshit is wrong, and you know it. But even if she wasn't wrong, it was literally legal for him to have sex with her. And he didn't. And he didn't!
I can't remember the age. An underage person
She
was
wasn't
my
underage
opinion,
at the
and
time,
I
under the
don't know.
law.
Let's see what happens. If he wants to go to court? It's not a definite, like, I didn't say he is a blah. He will be convicted of it. Let's see what happens. It's an opinion.
You're not going to go to court under that, Ron. But the implication is clearly that he would walk away a registered... Let's see who walks away a registered sex offender. Won't be you, obviously, because you're not going to court, because you're not a girl in Virginia in 1983 or whatever.
But can you see how that could be misunderstood by people, and they may take that the wrong way?
But that's then again goes back to the frivolous nature of the lawsuit. You don't.
No, actually, you can lie by implication, and it can be defamatory, Ron. Fuck me. You say you know all of this law about defamation. You don't know goddamn any of it.
File a lawsuit because people's feelings are hurt or it could be misunderstood. For instance, people have said that
it's not hurting someone's feelings to try to credibly accuse them of pedophilia, you pedophile.
I'm a woman. I'm a beater. I'm a wife beater. I'm a pedophile.
You are a wife beater.
I'm a this or I'm a that, right?
You are. God damn it. You are a wife beater. It's in the court documents. Jesus, what is wrong with you? You are a wife beater. Beating them all day. Oh, God. Mother. It's not the same thing. Vic doesn't even have a police report. I've looked. I've begged. I've followed up any leads I can find. If the man had a police report, I would have it. You guys would know. They would have produced it. It would have shut the case down immediately. If there was even just a police report and they said, we got this police report. What are we supposed to believe? By the way, Faisal Ahmed has a police report too. About lying under oath, or about, what was it? Lying under oath? Convicted for perjury, or not convicted, accused of perjury. He has a police report. He doesn't have a conviction. But Vic doesn't even have a police report. LJ Montello probably should have police reports. Kissing minors all over the place.
That sucks. I don't like it, but it's not actionable.
You did it. You did it. And by the way, if everybody called you a wife beater and said you beat your wife and you suffered damage from it and it wasn't true, it would be actionable. Ron, the reason we all say it is because it's true. It's true. That's why everybody says it. It's because it's documented to be true. That's the difference. You degenerate wife-beating scumbag who thinks that sexual assault is just, it's just a jerk move. What is wrong with you?
But it is also, like, looking back at, and again, fair statement here, looking back at your previous court cases, that at least has a modicum of truth.
Right. And then
no, it has a ton of truth.
Looking at the affidavits and looking at testimony from my fiance, from other people that swore under penalty eventually to the affidavit situation.
No, it's not the affidavits, Ron. It's the court finding. The court finds family violence occurred. That's it. Affidavits are affidavits. The court found family violence. Found it.
Plus multiple accounts online, seeing videos of him making inappropriate jokes to 5-year-olds, making...
That's not an inappropriate joke. Oh my God, he wasn't actually propositioning a 5-year-old. You degenerate. You think that because you would, you disgusting pedo.
Kissing on 12 and 14-year-olds and seeing, getting...
They want to have a kiss on the cheek. They like it. They're enjoying it. Their dad is right there in the room. That's the joke. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you?
Emails and stuff from people saying, he put his hand up my dress and this and...
That was a lie. These people are fake. Jesus. Find one who can substantiate even being in the same damn room with him.
So if you're hearing this stuff, what do you think in those moments?
You think the internet is full of fucking liars? 'Cause it is. Ron, your entire life mantra right now that you fap to every night is that I went online to lie constantly. And you're out here thinking that everything else, everything other than Nick Rekieta is telling the truth. Just this guy lies. Ron, if we take your position that I lie, we must take a similar position that anyone else you have no idea who they are must also have at least the chance to lie. Jesus.
But the fact of the matter is,
whispers about you, though. It doesn't
exactly
mean it's true.
Right, but it doesn't mean it's true. But that people
If I went out and said that you're likely to be a registered sex offender, you would have a pretty actionable claim against me.
It would not pass. I know it now. Now that I know the law works, you can say that shit right now. People have tried. People sent stuff to my...
No. The reason it doesn't work is because you're still employed. If someone said, if we took Ron to court, he would be a sex offender and they fired you, you bet your fucking ass you can sue them for that, you dildo. Of course you can. It's a lie about you that caused you damage. Of course you can say that, and it's per se defamatory, and of course you should have a claim on that. What is wrong with you?
My bosses saying, hey, here's this stuff. Ron's this, Ron's that. I mean, people have sent stuff to...
Your bosses haven't fired you yet. They probably should, but they haven't. Lane 32 James says, Ron, you listen to Nick, who is the least qualified to speak on the law than almost anyone else. Nick's more qualified to talk about it than you are. You don't even know what you're talking about most of the time. Exactly.
My agents, I make a lot of money, and I don't...
There it is again. This man is so insecure about his income. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. I wonder what his idea of a lot of money is. I make a lot of money. Loan officers can do pretty well, don't get me wrong. I wish I were an asshole. God, I wish I were an asshole. It would be really exciting to lead a campaign to get Ron fired. But that would be a dick move. Only people like Ron do that.
Don't say that to brag or anything. I work hard to get here.
Yes, you do. Ron, you've been talking about money to brag this entire time. $300,000. I just make more money. I basically print money. Yes, you do. Ron, it's weird. It's a weird thing. Most people aren't like, oh, bitch, I make money. I make money all the time. I make my money. Especially wealthy people don't do that. They don't do it. I think you're scared of money. You've got a weird attachment to it. If Monica stopped making money, she might be, maybe she is in danger. Damn. Girl, that COVID gonna get you beat?
So if somebody tried to mess with a contract I have with a realtor by sending them emails and bullshit, they don't realize that they're doing something that they are saying I did. That's TI, which they don't even know what
They do know what it means. Here's the thing, Ron. They think that's just because you did that.
that is either.
But
But
if they did get you fired, wouldn't that be actionable though?
but see, that's the
Yes.
thing. That's where everybody gets hung up. Can my employer has, because we're in Texas, it's a right to work state.
No! God! Oh, you idiot! The propriety of your employer firing you is irrelevant to the goddamn claim of tortious interference. It's in all of the case law. Only all of it, though. You know what? Hey, Ron, Knox v. Taylor, this is a great Texas Supreme Court decision about tortious interference. If you're going to talk about it, maybe you should know a single goddamn thing on the subject. But in Knox v. Taylor, even if the employer was going to fire you that day, but they hadn't yet, and someone calls in and interferes with your contract, you still have a TI claim because the employer might have changed their mind. And yes, it's a Texas TI case about employment. And yes, even in an at-will state, because if you're not fired when someone interferes and you're fired afterwards, that is unlawful for the person who interferes, not for the person who fires you. They're not in breach of contract. That's right to work. You fucking idiot who knows nothing about the law. It's not about your relationship with your employer. That's your rights versus your employer's rights. The third party who interferes with that agreement is doing an unlawful act. You dumb dildo.
And so them firing me, I couldn't really have anything to go with them. And then going after the person, if they're sharing their opinion, and now that I'm in this lawsuit, I'm a limited purpose public figure. Just why?
No, you're not a limited purpose public figure for a private conversation to your employer, except in regards to this conflict with Vic. You're a limited purpose public figure for the purposes of the conflict that you injected yourself into, and that's about Vic. If someone calls your employer and says Ron Toye's a pedophile wife beater is probably okay because it's true, even though Texas doesn't necessarily recognize truth of the defense. But if someone calls your employer and says Ron Toye raped me, and then you get fired because of it, that has nothing to do with your limited purpose public figure status. That's not about your conflict with Vic, even if the person is a fan of Vic's who does it. Yes, you have a claim. Of course you should have a claim.
Why you shared why I would not be able to succeed in a lawsuit is why Vic would
You would be able to succeed in that lawsuit.
be able to win in a lawsuit. I couldn't win because there's no way to prove that the matter wasn't a point of public concern.
Oh my God, you're not a public figure. The point of public concern would have to be related to your limited purpose status, Ron.
You can share it. People can share it with my bosses, and I don't like it. My boss has the right to make a decision, and it is what it is. Fair doesn't play into it. It's a decision. Shit happens. If they fired, well, fuck. I got to get another.
If I send your employer a message, if I send your employer emails, or several people do, saying Ron Toye is a known registered pedophile, he is sexually abused multiple children who have been close to him, and that resulted in you getting fired. Because your employer read it and goes, I don't want this person meeting with our clients and we have kids who come for houses and stuff. We can't risk it. Is that now still an opinion though?
But the thing is, that's where he needed better lawyers.
That's not an answer to the question.
If you, by looking at a bunch of empirical data, information that you see online,
information you see online isn't empirical data. God, how stupid are you? No wonder you're a fucking loan officer.
That it was a matter of public concern to share that information with my employer.
It's necessarily not a matter of public concern if it's a private communication between two people.
Have that right because you feel it's a public concern.
No,
and that's where,
you don't.
Goes back to the way you spelled it out.
Especially if you know it's false or have reckless disregard for the truth. Even if you're a limited purpose public figure, and even if it's a matter of public concern, if you have reckless disregard for the truth or knowledge of the falsity, it's still defamatory.
Eloquently and exponentially better than Vic's legal team on why it would be frivolous for me to try to sue you. Because it is a matter of public concern. Because I'm involved in a lawsuit and you've had the opportunity to make an opinion based on some documentation.
That's not how public concern works, Ron.
In public interaction that I've had with people, like my message.
That's not related to you being a pedophile, Ron.
Just with Nick. He has YouTube videos, this and this and that. So if you express that to my bosses and I got fired, while it might be annoying, while I might be able to file a lawsuit against you, it doesn't mean I would win. And I would actually...
It doesn't mean you would lose.
I would without question lose.
No! With question. Lots of questions. The hypothetical you are proposing has lots of questions.
Because people have tried that. I talked to my attorney about it.
And won!
He told me, it will never work. This and this and this. Move on.
Well, can I ask you something briefly, just as a sidebar to this entire conversation? Would you consider the term assault? Would you consider that like a felony? Would you consider that a crime? Would you consider that something?
No, that's I even.
You fucking idiot! Of course it's a crime. Assault is literally a criminal act. Jesus.
Clarify that shit on my tweets. It's like assault is assault. Like you can fart.
Yeah, it's a crime. Assault is a crime.
My direction, you assault my olfactory response. Like,
no, that's not the same thing. And by the way, as weird as it may sound, farting at someone might be assault.
You can kick me in a locker room and that could be an assault. Like assault is a big range.
That's a crime.
And I think that's where...
Assault is not a big range. Assault is not a big range. And furthermore, kicking someone in a locker room is a battery. Assault is a different crime.
Nick has used the word, anytime we use assault, he uses the term rape, almost like an anchor.
No, when you use sexual assault. Because criminal sexual assault in Texas is the statute for rape, you fucking idiot.
As when somebody...
Not when you say assault, when you say sexual assault. Because in Texas, the definition of sexual assault is rape. And yes, you have used that term, even though I don't recall.
He hears assault, they think rape, and he then try to justify, well, in Texas, assault is blah, blah, blah.
Yes! You're in Texas!
We're going to get into semantics. I'm not a fucking lawyer. If I say assault, if somebody bumps me in a...
It isn't semantics, you fuck. If it's sexual assault, that literally is rape in the state you're in. Kalinka Pavlova says, roses are red, liars aren't true. Ron's like a nappy full of doo-doo. Disgusting. I don't know what that even means, but it's gross.
A hallway or kicks me or flicks my ear, that's literally an assault on my ear.
No, it's a battery! Jesus! And it's illegal!
They inflicted some level of pain, but is
well,
it...
you are like you.
Yes, Yes, it's a crime. He was going to ask, but is it a crime? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, Ron. Yes, yes. Let me answer that for you again. Yes. If you don't think so, walk around Dallas flicking people in the ears. Do it. You will eventually get charged with a crime. Now, it may not happen if you flick your best friend in the ear. He may not like it. Yeah, also still a crime, but... Let's just bring up the law, shall we? Here we go. Assault. Section 2201. Subsection A. 3. A person commits an offense if the person intentionally or knowingly causes physical contact with another when the person knows or should reasonably believe that the other will regard the contact as offensive or provocative. Ron? It's literally the definition of the crime to walk around flicking people in the ears, even though it just hurts a little bit. That's the crime. Because if that person might turn around and hit you, and they should, that's a crime. JCF Data says, hey, Nick, if you flick someone in the ear, is that a crime? Yes! Are you sure? Yes! Happy Friday, buddy. It's not Friday! I mean, it kind of is.
You are aware that assault is a crime, though. Like, it's defined as a crime.
It could be.
If somebody's...
It could be! Fuck you, you lying cunt! Oh my god.
Spit at you, that could be considered assault.
It is assault.
Like, that's legit a thing.
Right.
So, saying that somebody committed assault, that would be saying that they've committed a crime, right?
It could be. I mean, maybe, but...
No! No, it is! It is! It is! It's not could be, it's not maybe. Ron, you committed assault. That's me saying you did a criminal act. Assault is a common law criminal expression that goes back 500 years.
If I like
Men!
Candlebox.
What did he say?
If I like Candlebox and you don't like Candlebox, you could feel that music and is assault on your ears.
That's not the same as saying someone assaulted someone else, you fucking you know it.
Right?
Well, we're discussing a difference between sarcasm and actionable.
But see, that's why we're in the middle of a situation that was an obvious play on not to sue, because it isn't something where I can say assault, and I even cleared it up saying it's not criminal. So
no, you saying it's not criminal doesn't make it not criminal. You've already established you don't think criminal sexual assault is criminal, you fuck. You dumb shit.
Then why would you then continue to pursue it? If I say what he did was wrong, it sucks. But even still...
Look. Ron Toy, he raped a bunch of 4-year-olds. Ron Toy is running around raping 4-year-olds all day. But it wasn't criminal. That fixes it. That cleared it up, right? Right, Ron? I can just email your boss and be like, here's all this evidence. Ron Toy is raping 4-year-olds, but it's not criminal, so that's not defamatory. Yes, it is, Ron! It's criminal!
No, I stand by it. He did assault Monica. That's my opinion.
You just accused him of a crime.
And that's her opinion. And then we want.
And it's a fact statement, you fuck. Whether or not he assaulted her is discernible. It's a statement of fact. It's not an opinion. That can be determined. There's a whole giant legal structure behind determining if someone assaulted someone else. It's called the criminal fucking justice system. Texas has several thousand pages of it, and they have several million pages of case law about what is assault.
Won our lawsuit, and we can say that all day long, and he can try to sue us and he can do whatever, and he'll get dunked on again, because again, it goes back to the situation, is that's where their opinion is based on, because of X,
Assault isn't an opinion.
Y, and Z. Now he can try to prove it or do something else. Well, good luck. Well, let's spend some more money. But that's where
Money. Every time this guy's talking about money.
all of this comes into. I can think an assault is one thing. You can say assault is one thing. You can say
it's not up to my opinion.
Assault isn't an opinion, Ron. It's a fact.
Assault has a definition as a word, as a legal term. That is something that is defined in the legal process. Now, you can argue that assault is different between Canada, US, UK.
What are you talking about? Where would it be defined in the legal process in Texas? Oh, Title 5 of the Penal Code, Chapter 22, assaultive offensive. 2201, assault.
UK, Australia. You can argue that, but assault is assault. You can jokingly say that, playing Eiffel 65 is an assault on my senses, but that's sarcasm, that's obvious parody, that's obviously a joke. Like I'm gonna pull up a tweet here. I'm gonna read a tweet from January 25th.
sure.
Where you said you were replying to somebody and replying to Vic Mignogna.
Let's be clear, that's 6 days after he admitted to hurting people.
Yes. Well, 6 days after he apologized if he made people feel uncomfortable.
Because
let's be fair.
He was inconsiderate of.
Well, let's be fair.
That's fair.
No, not because he was inconsiderate of. He didn't even apologize for hurting people. He said if anyone ever walked away uncomfortable. He didn't even acknowledge that anyone did. He has no idea. He was being assaulted by a bunch of cucks on Twitter.
So you said they are not false. Sorry to say, I have 4 people very close to me that had a very similar experience with Vic. He assaulted them. It's almost exactly the same as most of the stories you're reading online. It's a pattern he follows. Yeah. So in that there,
that is an accusation of criminal conduct, period. There is no other way to read what he just said as not a criminal act of assault.
Like, I understand what you're saying, that you consider saying assault is an opinion, but that statement, that is saying that he has committed a crime.
Well, but the thing about that is
the thing about that is more uhs than Obama.
You can say that I am saying he committed a crime.
You did say that.
I'm saying he assaulted the people that
assault is a crime.
That have put under the penalty of perjury, that they say he assaulted them.
But here's the
yes. And if he says that's a lie, then maybe they lied under the penalty of perjury. I know, shocking. It's never happened before.
Here's the funny part about affidavits, and like, I'm not discrediting.
Ron, by the way, just acknowledged that there is a fact issue, a fact question to be resolved as to whether or not he assaulted people in these affidavits. Fact questions are supposed to be resolved in favor of the plaintiff at TCPA. Thank you, Ron, for just going ahead and pointing out that fuck chopped up.
People, right? Yeah. Just as like, I'm not discrediting you.
Yeah.
People.
I'm discrediting him. Ron knows literally fucking zero about any subject he's talking about.
That swear affidavits, they have to swear under penalty of perjury. But at the time that they were swearing to this, they believed what they were saying is true.
True.
Now, I can convince myself of something being true that's completely not true. Okay. I can convince myself that the sky is red.
Right.
But the sky obviously is not red. But at one point the sky could have been red, and I saw it, and that's what I'm basing my belief off of.
It was a beautiful sunset.
And I close my eyes, and that's it. That's the only thing I've ever seen.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I'm lying. That just means that I believe that what I'm saying is true.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that that is true.
Right.
It just means that I believe it is.
Right. And that's fair. Now, if you were going to sue me over me saying that you are false and saying that the sky is red,
Right.
that's where the problem comes in. Because how do I prove that you knew the sky wasn't red?
It doesn't matter if you believe the wrong thing, it's still a statement of fact. The sky is red versus the sky is blue is a dumb analogy because no one can be damaged by the sky being red versus the sky being blue. But if I believed, let's do it this way. If I saw a man touch a woman's arm, and the man and the woman were, say, married, and she consented to it, and he consented to her arm causing an offense against his hand or whatever fucking shit you want. All consensual. But I see it, and I say, oh, even better. Even better. I am watching a street performance. Okay? 2 street performers. And they do a very interesting, choreographed, and rehearsed street performance. I walk up in the middle of it, and I see one of them smack the other one in the face. And I say, I'm going to find out who that guy is. And you're like, that guy is Tom Higgins. And you're like, Tom Higgins punched a man in the face in public. A bunch of people are like, nah, I don't think that actually happened. You're like, no, it did. It did on this date. And then someone came out and they're like, yep, Tom Higgins is fired from his job at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Tom Higgins punched, this person said Tom Higgins punched a person. Tom's like, I didn't punch anybody in the face. Tom Higgins has a lawsuit against you for defamation. It might have been your opinion that Tom punched a person in the face. He assaulted someone. He battered someone. He kicked their ass, whatever you want to say. But it wasn't true. Wasn't true. And especially if a bunch of people tried to tell you it wasn't true and you ignored it. And if Tom himself tried to tell you it wasn't true and you, nah, bro, I was doing a street thing. Reenacting a street thing. And you just go ahead and ignore that. Tom should have a claim against you. And he should win.
And that you didn't care that there was any consequences of the sky being red being false, and that you still said it anyway.
But the closer simile here would be is if you came and said, or if I came and said, well, Ron Toye says the sky is blue, but I know for a fact the sky is red. I've seen it. Ron Toye is a liar. And that statement gets you terminated from your job because I make you out to be a crazy person. Like that's what we're dealing with here.
Chris, I see what you're doing there, but that's not actually good.
Would it be actionable if I made you out to be crazy for saying something? That's what we're dealing with here. It's more apples to apples here.
And that's fair, but it wouldn't be something I could collect
Crazy's a little bit more on the opinion side.
on, because
now, if you made the case that he was clinically delusional and you tried to say that he had a diagnosis for being insane and that prevented him from telling the truth, that's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. I think that's where you were going with it.
it's an opinion. You are sharing an opinion. I'm sharing an opinion. And there's...
If you say that that Ron's a diagnosed lunatic, he's diagnosed insane person with psychopathy, and that prevents him from dealing with people, that saying that diagnosis, that becomes a fact statement. That's, and you might just be like, oh, he must be a diagnosed lunatic if he thinks the sky is blue because I know it's red. That's That's what I think you're getting at. And you're 4 hours into it, and this is the dumbest conversation I've ever seen. I think that's what you're looking for here. And yes, actually accusing someone of having a mental illness when they don't, especially a mental illness that would impair their ability to perform their job, yeah, that would be a problem.
There's no way to, in that situation, especially when that part is like everybody can observe the sky, you could be colorblind. You might not be able to perceive the color blue. Maybe you perceive the color blue as red, and maybe the other person perceives it blue, or maybe they perceive it as pink. Or
So saying that,
if they perceive the color blue as pink, Ron, they'll call it blue, you fucking idiot. Get the whole perceived color shit right.
and acknowledging that, is it far-fetched to think that possibly the people that have sworn affidavits may have a different understanding of something that happened 15 years ago?
So this is exactly my point on why the lawsuit was frivolous. If their opinion and
It's actually not your point on why the lawsuit is frivolous.
their feeling and their conviction is that he hurt them, and then his opinion and conviction is he didn't, this lawsuit isn't about proving him innocent. It's proving that we lied. So he has to prove that he did not do those things. And it can't just be saying, I didn't.
No, it literally... Vic isn't the one making the claim. He doesn't have to prove. He doesn't have to prove that he didn't do something. You can't prove someone did or didn't do something. You can't prove that. Ron, prove you didn't shoot a girl behind a Wendy's in 2002. You can't prove that you didn't. You can try. Well, I've looked up all the police reports and I can't find one. Well, she didn't file a police report. You know that, you scumbag. Well, I checked all the hospital records. She didn't go to a hospital. She went to her own veterinarian friend who patched her up like a Terminator movie. You can't prove negatives. You can never prove a negative. And actually, it would be on the claimant to prove the truth as a defense to defamation. You say you know what defamation is, but truth is an affirmative defense. And once you assert an affirmative defense, the burden shifts to you to prove the affirmative defense. And yes, the party saying I did not do this thing is sufficient to say that the party didn't do it. Yes, it is. Yes, because they're under oath. It is evidence. It is admissible. Now, you may find the credibility lacking. A fact finder may find the credibility lacking. But once you get to the stage of asserting the defense of truthfulness, which is a pre-trial motion to dismiss based on an affirmative defense of truthfulness, that is incumbent upon the speaker to prove the truth of their defamatory statement. Again, you think you know the law, you really, really don't. And if you are praising your lawyers for educating you on it, they need to go back into the fucking ground they came from, because they are doing an embarrassing job of it.
Do them. It has to be some level of proof, and it's and that question has been very much solidified in the fact that this lawsuit went the way it did. And so when you have a history as long as what he's got, when he's admitted to doing the thing, like for instance the Jamie hair pulling, he doesn't like the term pulling because he feels like that's something you do in a fight.
He doesn't like the term pulling because he didn't pull her hair.
Right. But he does a demonstration where you can see him reach up, grab the hair.
No, he didn't grab the hair. He did this. That's not grabbing. You are fucking lying again. Even in Sam Johnson's little gay gif, he's like, this. He shouldn't have done it, but he did. And this is what he did. He did not grab. He did this. It's in the stupid GIF that Sam put in there. You guys are lying about what he did in spite of the fact that people can look at it.
And he says he whispered something like, "Ooh, I like it. It looks great."
No, he didn't even admit to whispering. He said, "I must have said something like that." Again, he should have just said no, but he didn't. This is, again, the realities of practicing law versus the wonderful theory. Your clients don't always do what they should do. But he should have said, "I didn't know." But here's the thing he was trying to get to. I didn't pull her hair. I bounced her hair and I said, "Oh, I liked it. I like it. I like it. I love it." Because she was a hairstylist and they had a good relationship. That's what he's probably trying to convey. And you fucking scumbags are trying to twist it into, well, he's just not saying that. But he didn't pull her hair, and you know he didn't pull her hair.
We saw the video clip. Everyone's seen it.
So let me just pause it for a moment because we're getting a bit too.
Let me pause it and say he didn't actually pull the hair, and this is a lie. This is what Monica does to you on Thursdays, you fucking cuck.
Off. We're talking about the stuff that yourself and Monica did, right? Or allegedly did. I'll say allegedly did.
Yeah.
The key pieces here is that Monica had a hand in his termination with Funimation.
And just like Monica had a hand in your rectum.
And you allegedly had a hand in terminating a contract with one or more conventions, we'll say.
I didn't have a hand in that.
Well,
allegedly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're saying you didn't. Vic is saying you did, and he's using text messages and he's using emails. He's using communications to say saying this is what this is.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, and so from that point, it's not about Vic proving that he didn't do something. It's about proving that you guys didn't do something.
And that's what we did, and that's why we won.
No! How do you not understand this? You didn't even get there. You're not even close to that stage in the lawsuit. And to your credit, you don't want to be. You did not win on truth. Your affirmative defenses were laughed out of that hearing by Chup. He said we don't even get to the affirmative defenses. Vic didn't provide enough evidence. That's what he said. You don't get to say, "Oh, that's what we did. We proved." No, you didn't. You can't have. It's not this stage of the lawsuit yet.
Because
Also, go ahead.
the reason we did prove that we didn't do certain things and that we did do certain things and the reasons why.
And the fact that you think that this is how TCPA works is the most disturbing part when you apparently have the expert talking to you about it, because he knows that you didn't do this. He knows that the affirmative defenses were not the basis for your victory. That Chup said in his order, he didn't say much. He said that Vic did not provide sufficient evidence of each element of the claim of defamation, tortious interference, the other tortious interference, and civil conspiracy. That's what Chup said. He did not say that we reached, he did provide sufficient evidence, but the defendants proved by a preponderance of the evidence, their affirmative defense of truthfulness. They didn't do that. That would be how you win on that. That would have been written in the order. It wasn't considered because the moment Lemoyne started talking, Chup said, "I don't want to listen to this."
We did certain things. For instance, my text message with Slatosh. I have every right to communicate anything that I have any desire to do. And so when he failed to send...
Wrong! You don't have a right to demand someone cancel an existing contract for your performance. You don't have the right to do that. If they cancel the existing contract based on what you had the right to do, that's tortious interference. It's the literal definition of tortious interference.
Send me any information on marketing strategies or sponsorship levels, anything. Nothing. I got
He doesn't have to.
nothing from him for 11 days. It is my right to say, hey, with that plus the guy being there that hurt my
No, the second you say plus, now you have committed tortious interference. And you didn't say plus. You just said the Vic stuff.
fiance, I'm not going to sponsor your con. I didn't tell him not to invite Vic.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say, hey, if you don't do this, you got to do this. Or
Yes, you did.
I'm going to let everybody know this, that, and the other. I did none of that.
But do you see in your statement there, you said because of this and you're inviting the guy who hurt my fiance. Do you see how that could be seen as leveraging the situation to cancel to
My personal fucking fiance will cancel her contract if you don't cancel his. That is the definition of tortious interference.
cancel Vic Mignogna's appearance?
But that I have, do you understand? There is a thing called the right of association, right?
That's not the right of association.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for instance,
Once you contract with someone, you necessarily give up rights.
people can put up a push. I don't know what they're called. Like what are those like surveys or whatever to try to get somebody banned from a con, or Monica has something.
Well, anybody can do a petition, yeah.
Petition, there it is.
Yeah.
To like, oh, let's get Monica fired from a convention.
How many of those have actually come up, Ron? How many? How many? How many of those? All of the harassment, all the mean harassment, death threat. How many petitions have there been to get Monica banned from a con? How many? You fucking liar.
Is that not TI, a petition?
No, petitions aren't TI. That's the amazing thing. Petitions are public. Petitions don't involve the leveraging of rights over another person. That's the shocking aspect of this. No one is asserting that a simple petition would be TI. The idea is that you said, I'm going to give you 25 grand. And then Slatosh said, cool, bruh. And then you said, yeah, actually, if Vic's coming, I'm not going to give you 25 grand. Suddenly, Slatosh has a different motive than a petition. He's got 25,000 reasons that he has to consider whether or not he's inviting Vic. Then you add as the watermelon, because Monica's a lot fucking fatter than a cherry, on top of saying, Monica won't come to your show and neither will other voice actors if you invite Vic. And then they do invite Vic and then you all cancel. It is the most textbook tortious interference you can possibly think of. And the fact that Chup ignored that is a shame on the judicial system more than just about anything else in this clusterfuck of a case. But it wasn't a simple petition. You're in a private conversation talking about the exchange of money and the exchange of rights to leverage over someone interfering with a contract that he expressed to you that he could not breach. You had knowledge of the contract. You had knowledge that him changing it would be a breach. You demanded he change it anyway. Otherwise, you would do X. He ended up changing it. Then he changed it back. And then you did the thing you said you would do. It is obviously tortious interference. It's insane that Chup let it go. It's actually crazy that Chup let it go. And if that's not tortious interference, then you don't actually have a claim of tortious interference fucking ever.
Then?
Well, if it's, I mean, technically, yes, it would be.
Well, it's technically not because, again, it's not a TI situation because if it was, everyone who signed that petition against Monica that's out right now would be guilty of TI.
Is there a change.org petition against Monica? Change.org Monica Real. Ha! There is one. 668 people have signed. Oh, Jesus. Why do people do this? This is a year ago. This is something like a year ago. Here, I'll show you. God, who? This is dumb. As you can see, Ron, I haven't signed this gay petition because petitions like this are stupid. But yeah, when did this start? What's the date on it? I mean, there are updates a year ago. Oh, a year ago it was started. Who knows when that was? I mean, Monica's a pile of trash, but this is not right. This is not right. Anyway, so here's the funny thing. How do we know Ron didn't start that petition?
If she was ever terminated.
Well, for simplicity's sake, it would probably be the person that organized the petition, but yes.
Maybe. And that's but that's where we get into this situation.
But no, petitions are different than TI. Public calls for someone to be removed is not TI. Contacting someone's customer service or HR department to report something is not TI. That's very different. Unless you maliciously lie, that's when it could be. That's when it could be. You have to prove the malice about it. But that being said, no, petitions are not typically TI. TI is something a little more special, a little more intimate. You get aligned to a decision maker. Then you tell them something that harms someone that might not be true. That's the type of stuff.
It isn't illegal to do that, just like it isn't illegal to do a lot of different things. Just like when Tiger Woods had some issues, sponsors decided to back out from them. I never sponsored Chris.
Tiger Woods had morality clauses in his contract, you fuck. He was obligated by his own choice not to do the things he did. It's different. If Tiger Woods had just banged a bunch of broads and come out and said, fuck y'all, and didn't have a morality clause, none of those sponsors could have backed out without a lawsuit if Tiger Woods wanted one. That's different. The contract Tiger Woods signed had a discernible impact on his rights because that is a contract. You are literally fucking stupid.
Ever. We didn't talk about numbers. He didn't send me sponsorship levels. I'm excited when his
Yes, I think you did talk about numbers.
audio gets to be released because he admits to why he canceled Vic. It was nothing to do with me.
Well, okay. So if that's the case, if he admits why he canceled Vic on audio, why was that not released like yesterday?
But that's the point. We have to do it in the right way.
You had the right way. The right way was the discovery request, which requested any communications you had about Vic. You didn't produce it because you know that audio fucking buries you. You know it does.
There's a reason we wanted to depose him. And they fought so vehemently against it because they also don't like the fact that he committed notary fraud. And that's not gone away. But
it's not notary fraud, you fucking dummy.
That's where if it goes further and there's more stuff, great. Guess what's coming? We have it.
But you have the audio. You don't need the deposition. You literally have the holy grail of Chris Latenight saying that. Why wasn't that presented?
Because the thing is, that's the part where it's interesting, where it's about how evidence and things are put into a lawsuit. You have to do it.
It was discovery. You were obligated to give that to the other party.
In the right way. And that's the part where we can't interject that information until the deposition of Slaytosh.
Not true. You fucking liar. That is not true at all.
And then we can present that to him like, hey, here's your sworn affidavit. That was
affidavit
notarized in person when you were actually at a convention 300 miles away. So what is this and this? Oh, that's your answer? Well, how come in this part of the audio you say this? You see what I'm saying?
But why? But my apology if I'm not really following this correctly, but why would you wait? If you have that smoking gun, if you have like quote unquote the murder weapon, why would you wait and spend your own money because at that point you weren't covered by insurance. Why would you spend your own money when you have something that could immediately end your section of the lawsuit?
But see, that's where do you see where it doesn't end our section of the law?
It does! It does if you can present. That's the purpose of discovery, Ron. If you can present the other side with conclusive evidence that they're wrong, you just give it to them so that they go, holy fuck, we're way wrong. Maybe, Ron, maybe Chris Slatosh lied to Vic. Did you think about that, you balding pile of shit? Did you think about the possibility that Chris Slatosh lied to Vic and that is hurting you? And if you just told Vic, maybe he goes, oh my God, and drops the lawsuit immediately and sues Chris Slatosh for lying. What do you think the purpose of this is? Jesus Christ. I gotta stop. I'm gonna burst arteries. Vic's GoFundMe, $282,720. I gotta find my Zen place. I'm sitting here screaming in my basement. Wow. All right. I'm going to read through Justice Chats, then Super Chats, and then we will go to Twitch to watch Bone Tomahawk, which I hope will be refreshing. Some nobody know. We're going to read all the Justice Chats tonight. It's no big deal. I'm only sad that I'm out of good tasting drinks. All I've left is water and whiskey. Okay. There's got to be a Ronversations Part 7 at some point. It will not be tomorrow. Tomorrow is Drexel, I believe. Unless he changes his mind tomorrow, Drexel is coming over tomorrow and will be staying for a couple days. So we will have a Drexel show tomorrow, and that will be, you know, that is my Zen. That is not me having to deal with an idiot like Ron Toye. So we will enjoy that. All right, let's do this. Knight of Hopex says, I guess I should clarify why forgiveness has to involve reconciliation, at least with a living person, is because you can't say you truly have no resentment towards someone you treat differently for having wronged you. That's a logical contradiction. Well, but you could choose to not treat them differently. You can choose to forgive them. Our misconception of the process of forgiving people is what brings about the martyr attitude you so dislike. It obligates one party to continuously be the victim of a second that is never sorry for how they mistreat the first. It's just not practical. No, and again, I'll disagree with you on this forever, because there's some people who will not be sorry, and you need to, at some point, forgive them. whether they're sorry or not. Otherwise, you're giving control to the other person over how you act, and that is incorrect. In my opinion. Night of Obex says, if the goal is to break the cycle, so to speak, and not carry resentment forward, first party has to at some point break ties with the second. There's no true pardon in that. We need to be precise in how we use language so as not to muddy these things up. Yeah, and I say forgiveness has nothing to do with reconciliation at all. They can happen together, but I say that they don't need to. Mercenary X says, Nick, did you see the Dr. Disrespect interview? All it does for me is that it makes me absolutely sure that it isn't about money, even if Yellow Flash says it is and money is plausible. I still think Dear Girl on Trust and Safety banned him in contract violation. I have not seen it. I would love, I would love to find out. Some nobody says, all right, well, I tried. It's fine. If we just disagree about what forgiveness is, that's okay. That's fine. I will tell you until I'm blue in the face as to why I think forgiveness is a one-way street from one party, because I think forgiveness is for the benefit of the forgiver, not the forgivee. But that's me. You can think of it differently. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. I'll just say that I think, this is what I believe about it. Okay. In Ron Toye's voice says, what? Bitch, I'm a cuck. Bitch, I'm a cuck. Monica's boyfriend over. I just put him up a soda. He be fucking on the sofa. That's okay. It isn't over. Yeah. I think he's kind of hot. Yeah, I'm watching them fuck. I'm watching them fuck. Bitch, I'm a cuck. Bitch, I'm a cuck. Captain Falcon says, Nick, get TFM on your show with Drexel, please. Maybe. Oh, one thing I'm thinking about doing with Drexel, I think we might do a show from the local movie theater playing Smash Bros. On the movie theater screen, although I have no idea how the microphone situation is going to work with that. That could be a disaster. Bill Clinton says male hobbying is like male friendships. It's necessary for a man's well-being and mental sanity. Thank you. I agree. Bill Clinton. Killing me. Jay says, my girlfriend said that Ron seems like a 50-year-old version of Elliot Rodger. Also, monthly reminder that Ron hasn't changed and is still a little abusive leprechaun who can't stop lying. Why you always lying? Siren Jack says, as Von Karma, where is Ron Toye? Where are you hiding him? I know he is near. I can smell his nasty gunt. I finally found that bitch with the diary that was hiding in the attic with her family. And I'll find him too. I never lose. That was disturbing. Oh, shoot. Jeff the Gamer sent, Ron, you are the biggest idiot I have ever seen. Your stupidity is so immense that it would take two of your disgusting, fat as a whale, horse-faced fiance just so you could get a full view of your stupidity from orbit. You can go eat a dick, you lying cuck. Damn. Crusader Saracen says, How Not to Be a Piece of Shit, a how-to guide by Nick Rekieta, now available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle format for just $4.99. Chapter 1, Don't Be Ron Toye, Finn. Oh, God. Genghis Khan says, Ron, since I know now for sure you're watching, please, for the love of God, seek actual help before you remote slap Monica. And Monica, if you just so happen to see this, or if Ron decides to tell you for whatever, ditch that man while you can, you dumb, evil cunt. I don't know if calling someone a dumb, evil cunt is going to be persuasive, but it might. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's what it needs to happen. Crusader Saracen says, Mr. Hop is a man of few words, but when he speaks, everybody listens. Oh, that guy's great. Malik Foxon says, Ron thinks so highly of himself that any truths you bring to him, he refutes it with my truth or that's your opinion. Anything that destroys his narrative prompts a major shifting of goalposts so he can never be wrong. This is how he got better. Yeah, I agree. Crusader Saracen says, now here in Hazard Country, we ain't seen bullshit like this since the Great Cattle Wrestling Fiasco of 1947. He also says, Nick, I swear to God, if you actually write that book, commission a cheap cover, and put it on Amazon, I will buy it. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Kissa my ass. Come on, your name is Kissa my ass. Will you be discussing the Warhammer 40k and Bitcoin hacking? Maybe even the possible repercussions of such fallout like DM leaks and Twitter shadow banning tools? Maybe. Maybe. That'd be interesting. Shadows King 101 says, sometimes a sheepdog needs to be put down. Don't forget about the Chalice Fund, y'all. It's a Chalice Fund. Goof Troop says, are there any legal statutes preventing me from becoming a Primarch? No. Ulashed 1 says, your thoughts on Lowe's intentionally turning the AC off on their stores during business hours? Why? That's awful. I think that's terrible. I don't think they have any legal obligation to provide you AC. Wow. Mario Carter 13 says, the army is there because it's a private platform. Big T Armada says, well, congratulations, Nick. My next army Twitch stream will be nothing but hard R's. like a minigun of N-words dropping on the Twitch stream. Oh God, that'd be funny. Some nobody says, tried to stop her from leaving the farm. Horse. Fucking failed. Thumbs down. Shadows King 101 says, big ups to all the goons in chat. Also, Nick, if you still do the lemon voice, do My Way by Frank Sinatra. I don't know the lyrics. I don't know the lyrics at all. Other than My Way. You know, I did it my way. Mario Carter 13 says, bring a condom to avoid violating boundaries. Body condoms, y'all. You need them. You need them. No one important says, Ron, geez, the 20 people in front of me got a hug. I wonder if he'll give me a hug. Nah, I'm sure he won't. The amazing debate. Insufficient clearance says, no worries about teaching the kid new words. We think it's hilarious and wanted to share the fun. Oh, you're my kind of parents. You're my kind of parents. Dust in my lungs. Oh no. No one important says, Ron logic. Feelings equals fairness equals fact equals we win. QB of Rage. There you go. Says, Ron seems more angry at the fact that he's being sued by Vic more than the supposed sexual assault by his fiance by Vic. How odd. How odd indeed. How odd indeed. Mario Carter 13 said, struggle, snuggle, prostitution, same thing, really. Shadowgoff says, I love this Ron can't physically take the L like it's a medical condition, just can't take it, and it's hilarious. Sar Lucian says, so screw off with this marmot, Nick. Why don't you embrace your inner rage and join the ranks of Korn? We welcome all to fight in glorious melee combat. Oh, I could never wash the blood out from under my fingernails. Talonseer says, you screamed and his head got larger. I don't know what you're talking about, but it makes me sad and happy. Matt Field says, the night the chat found family violence occurred was effing epic. Reset the clock. The law was misapplied, Ron. You don't know shit. I have no idea what a QB is. You're right. Kalinka Pavlova says, Ron is too art-hearted to understand anything you've said unless it confirms his bias, worrying especially for women and children around him. Me too. Legitimately worried for women and children around Ron. Kalinka Pavlova also says, I forgot you Merkins called nappies diapers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, diapers. Thank you. Thank you for educating me on the Queensish English. Timothy Reaper says, if Nick keeps pausing like this, we're going to have Ronversations by Proxy, the interview part 27 in August. I can't help it. It's hard, man. It's hard. Bro Tato says, Nick, you don't understand. If I put C-Rock on my food, that could be considered assault. I could take it to court of law and the judge might agree with me. K9 Affirmative says, I had no idea how Weasley as person could really be before this stream. I hope that Ron's house gets set on fire in Minecraft. Damn. Some nobody says, is a hoof a hand? Yes. Yes, it is. Macca Jr. says, have you seen the old movie Salute to the Jugger? Nope. Overcloud says CDN lawyer again. Is that Canadian lawyer? Unleash the law on that effeminate man. Slam the door on their peckers and go scorched earth. Oh! No one important says here's a couple bucks for some IBUP. You poor man. What's IBUP? Kiss of my ass says, Nick, did you get my first super chat? I did. I did do it. Meximan and Cheese says, have you read about LA County forcing boys in juvie to take sex change hormones as behavioral control? Their doctors had admitted, they say, for ADHA. Yeah, I did. And the one kid grew tits. Oh my God. Sue him forever. Solemn says, Drexel's coming over for the weekend. Sounds like you're putting off Elfin Laid again. Maybe we'll get Slumber Party Massacre 3. Hee. I don't think there is a Slumber Party Massacre 3. God, 2 was bad. Franco Miranda says, $5 for you, man. The fire this week were intense and satisfying, but goddamn, tonight's Ronversations by Proxy was easily the most worst. I don't know if that's a compliment. I don't know if that's a compliment or a bad thing. Andrew War Snowboard says, JSL, obey your master. MasterCard. Pulling your strings. Blinded by con sluts. Can't feel a thing. Kalinka Pavlova says, I bought too much toothpaste by mistake, and I'm telling y'all this to distract us while we herd our brain cells back into our skulls, and you're welcome. Kalinka, send it to my house. My kids keep doing this thing where they're like at night when they think that I'm on my show, and I am. They go into their bathroom and they just squeeze out toothpaste into the sink like it's like, stop. It's like a soft serve machine. It's terrible. Andrew, I missed Master Card, pull it. Yeah, okay, I got it. Bradley Mitchell says, who is the voice actor that bought out Kamea-Khan? Oh, damn it. What's his name? Evers? Not Ayers. Hold on. It's not him. It's his family bought it. What was it? Eric Vale. That's who I'm 99% sure it was Eric Vale's family who bought it out. So, all right, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Genghis Khan says, I forgot to request the regular Vic Ron stream Lemon singing. And Lemoyne's voice sing, Take on Me with a background singer in Ron's voice. Take on me. Take on me. Take me on. Oh, God. All right, guys. Let's do this outro. Let's do this outro. I should have started it earlier. Come over to Twitch. We're going to watch Bone Tomahawk with an old Kurt Russell. It's apparently pretty violent. I've been wanting to see it. Since it came out, and I have not seen it. This is a new movie for me. So Bone Tomahawk, we're going to watch it. Hopefully we're going to have some fun. Probably just one movie tonight, but maybe I'll go crazy and we'll do two. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a good night. Peace. Peace.
From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a bow, more a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour